This is the SPCE one-year overview reading for 2023. It's currently October 19th, 2022, 11:31 p.m. Eastern Time. The overall theme and behavior for SPCE in the year of 2023, we have a move higher through a critical resistance level, and that's on a scale of a multi-year chart. We stay above it briefly, and then we break back down through the same price level shortly thereafter. That's crossed with a rally along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meeting a second resistance, and then pulling back to somewhere between those two price levels. And it looks like that rally along a diagonal trend line will take us to the year's highest high, or highest highs. The highest high and the lowest low are within close proximity to each other. The behavior around the highest high for the year, we have quite a bit of volatility, and the price and the resistance level at the high marks an opportunity. It's a good mean point for opening up a straddle or strangle, because we'll see a higher price level and a lower price level probably the following year. Behavior around the low, there's a significant decline to reach the lowest low, and that decline will stand out on a multi-year chart, definitely on a one-year chart. Behavior, guys, you know what, just take a moment here. I recommended SPCE in 2020, guys, like just at the start of 2020, around $14. It might have even been like just at 11, going to 14. I don't remember exactly. It was between 11 or 14. But look, guys, that was like, nobody saw that coming except we did. People watching this channel, right? And so we had this. It has epic spikes and epic declines, and you can see we're well below like we've ever been. It's like the lowest it's ever been. I'm like, I can't believe people are nuts. This is a pure play on a space exploration or space travel company. It's a pure play, and it's Virgin Galactic. The guy who founded the company is like my epic hero. In any case, so what we're going to see is likely a higher high here in the year 2023 than we've seen yet. The abundance card often speaks of a highest high or a new fresh high. It'll either be the same high or a higher high. And so think about that, guys. We're at $4 and where are we at? We're at $4.48. My God, it's a space company. It's like buying the railroads when they first came into existence. So in any case, it's going to be the highest high it's seen, or the same high. So that puts it at $57, or you could say $62 or higher. $62.90 something or higher, right? So like, what an epic time to buy this stock. I'm not saying buy it right this moment. I'm going to look at a 10-year, but definitively there's got to be a good opportunity between now and the end of the year to get into this stock for 2023. My God, what a deal. Okay, guys, and there's ways you can support the channel while doing what you would have done anyways. If you're looking to buy this stock, guys, one way you can support the channel is by opening up a Webull account. Using the referral code in our description, we get fractional shares, 15 fractional shares. When somebody does that, that person also gets 15 fractional shares. And then, it's not much, but it definitely helps the channel. And Webull is way better than Robinhood, guys. Anybody who's like a professional trader or wants to be is not using Robinhood. All right, guys. Look at that, my God. All right, so in January, we have sideways rotation along a key support level on a one-year chart at least, and there's a fast sudden move higher marking the end of that period of sideways rotation. There's an early swing trade opportunity in January involving price behavior bumping along resistance, maybe breaking through resistance, bumping along resistance, that kind of thing. And the majority will be bumping along resistance, and there's a swing trade opportunity involving that kind of behavior. The behavior at the high, out of the January month high, we have a significant decline. It's pretty bullish to see the Ace of Cups in the high correlation position, though, because it speaks of out of a decline from that price level, there'll be an opportunity, an opportunity to open up a long position to go back up probably to the same price or maybe higher. So it's kind of bullish. Behavior around the month's low for January, we have a U-shaped dip that takes place within close proximity to the intersection of two perpendicular diagonal trend lines. Oh, wow. Okay, so we got the correlations there. There's a correlation in late January in the midst of a rally higher that'll stand out on at least a 1 month chart, but probably a 1 year chart. There's a rally higher that marks an opportunity to open up a short position. So that rally probably goes all the way into February, or the high that we see here, the high correlator in February, maybe takes place at the end of January. Hard to say. There's a rally here at the end of January, early February, to a high, a year's like prominent crest. And there's two swing trade opportunities in late January, roughly. And guys, it's a broad time frame to be using only 2 cards for a month, so you have to give it a little wiggle room. I'd say like it could fluctuate at between right on the wall to like a month out. You have to follow the sequence of events. You'll see it fluctuate like a little bit. In any case, there's 2 swing trade opportunities there in January. One involving bumping along resistance, breaking through horizontal resistance, bumping along resistance, and the other swing trade opportunity involves a breakout on the scale of a 1 month chart. In February, there's sideways rotation. There's a period of sideways rotation, and within it, there's a sharp dip that stands out on at least a 1 month chart, probably a 1 year chart. And there's a sharp dip, so sideways rotation along the high that we see, and then a sharp dip out of that high. There's a significant move higher. There's still, in early February, there's still a rally higher, it looks like. So we probably have from the month's high in February, there's a sharp drop that'll stand out on at least a 1 month chart, and it looks like it probably takes us. It probably takes us to a low. To the month's low. That decline from the February high probably takes us to the February low. The February low takes place after the completion of a rally. There's an opportunity there in late February to open up a short position again. I'm advised to buy protection towards the end of February. And again, there's a correlation to the theme card, a move higher through resistance followed by a breakdown through support. So we may have we might have like a really big move higher in the end of the year, guys, because it's very likely that we have new highs, or new fresh highs, we should say, here in the end of January, possibly again in February. Okay, so in early March, we have sideways fluctuations with a bearish trend that precedes a decline, or precedes a rally. Matter of fact, before we get into that, in late February, the 2 swing trades, one involving bumping along resistance and breaking through, bumping along resistance, and then the other one a breakout on at least the scale of a 1 month chart. And then around the low in February, it looks like, so there's probably a low towards the end of the month of February, a month's low towards the end of the month of February. Looks like a month's low early and a month's low late. And it's still a price level at which if you bought protection, you'd make some money because there's a lower level coming, as well as a higher level, to be clear. But so in early March, there's sideways fluctuations with a bearish trend preceding a rally out of the low, the March low, which is a prominent trough for the year. It's a prominent trough for the year, not necessarily the lowest low, but a prominent trough there in March. And there's a significant move higher in the face of seemingly overwhelming headwinds. Whoa, a lot of price movement is covered to meet the low, the month's low there. So that's a significant drop, guys. We may also see significant move out of it, but I could say that there's a significant price movement to reach the low there. Behavior around the month's high for March, there's a decline through multiple support levels on the scale of a 1 year chart. And then behavior in late March, we have bullish price swings We also have a correlation here in late March to a rally along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meeting secondary resistance, and pulling back to somewhere between those two price levels. We have that correlation here in early April as well, so my sense is that these bullish price swings take us higher into early April. This is most likely a year's like an all-time high here, or a new very significant prominent high on a multi-year scale, and probably the year's high or first year's high. This has a lot of probability to be the year's high here. I think there's probably two of them. But you can see like there's a high correlation to the Queen of Wands, which is rallying along a rally along diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meeting secondary resistance, and then pulling back to somewhere between those two price levels. And you can see what we have is we have a diagonal sideways bullish price swings, like sideways bullish price swings, diagonal rally right into August, where we have the high, most likely the high. So there's a strong possibility that that's the highest high there. And then in August, in the August high, we have quite a bit of volatility around that high, and there's a fast sudden move higher, marking the end of that period of volatility and taking us to the high. In early April, we have a sharp decline as well from a prominent peak. So, there's a pretty sharp decline, it looks like, in the second week of April. Behavior out of the month's low of April, it'll be a prominent move higher. There's also a trade opportunity like between the second and third week somewhere around the low. There's a trade opportunity there around, and it's a big move higher that'll stand out on a 1 year chart. Then we go into, in late April-ish, we go into multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance. Looks like in the last 2 weeks of April, around that same 2 weeks of multiple failed attempts to break key resistance. Between the third and fourth week, there's another trade opportunity there. And then we've got the unicursal in March. My sense is the unicursal is probably... So the high is in April or March. It's probably in April. My sense, matter of fact, I think it's probably right on the cusp of April and March, or excuse me, April and May. I'm so sorry, April and May. The unicursal's there in May, and we have this movement, an agreement between two leaders or a merger or acquisition of some kind that's highlighted here. But this behavior also, in a lot of cases, is a move higher followed by a full retracement. A similar thing goes for the Hierophant card. In a lot of cases, it's a move higher followed by a full retracement. Sometimes after like a holding pattern, but those are both the same type of behavior that we see with the theme card here, which is also speaking of a high. So there's a year's high here somewhere in April, May, right? And then Congress is likely highlighted in May. Around the month's low for May, we have erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level, and in the midst of that, we have a crest that was recently a past opportunity to revisit it. In the midst of that erratic behavior back and forth. And where do we see it? I want to see if I can find where that crest was first visited. That's hard to determine. But it's recent on a 1 year scale is like within 3 months. At the end of May, we have a move higher, successfully turning resistance into new support, and we have another prominent high for the year, or it may be a high, like the same high, or in any case, it's going to be a high that stands out. But early June has a sharp decline. It may be more than just SPCE shares that are declining. It could be like a global thing. There's a prominent crest there that we fall from, and it looks like we reached the month's low of June from the decline off of the high. So probably we rally a bit into June. There's volatility around the high, the month's high of June, which is also going to be the high for another prominent high for the year. And then in that period of volatility, there's a sharp dip. It looks like so the rally is along a diagonal trend line, a fast sudden move higher, and then a sharp dip, breaking through that diagonal trend line, increasing in volatility on the way down. And the high there in June again is within close proximity to the June month's low, which forms when we have selling from an overbought crest or peak. There's a prominent reversal in July. Sometimes the fortune card on the scale of 1 year could mean a new high, but in the case of this, I'm not thinking it's a high. It's a reversal. Matter of fact, it's a reversal. It's a reversal. Okay, so it's a reversal, like an upward reversal. So we're declining out of June into July, and then there's a rally higher, there's a rally higher in early July, and it's like a reversal. We're moving higher, and then we turn around. We fail to break through a resistance level that we expected to break through based on some chart patterns, some technical chart pattern. And instead, we break down through key support. Again, this is on the scale of a 1 year chart, and that takes us to the low. Out of the low, prominent reversal there. I'm just trying to determine, like, there's a notable move higher, and the July month's high forms when we have a fast sudden move higher on the scale of a 1 year chart. Also in late July, there's a rally that increases with momentum moving forward into the end of the month. It looks like it continues into August even, but there's a swing trade opportunity there in late July, early August, involving a breakout on a 1 month chart at least. It looks like we reached for distant resistance in early August. There's also a swing trade opportunity in early August when we're bumping along resistance. So that would be like probably the exit out of that victory trade, the breakout trade. So we want to get in probably when there's a failed attempt. We want to get in July when there's a failed attempt to break through a resistance level that we're expecting to break through, and instead we decline through key support. That's when I would probably get in, and then I'd ride the rally in the end of July into early August and sell when we reach a distant resistance level and start bumping sideways along resistance. The behavior around the month's high in August, we sell from a crest down to and through a key support level, and then we do a U-shaped reversal and come back and reuse it as support. And there's a prominent move. It'll stand out on a 1 year chart, a big move to the upside out of the month's low for August. Selling down in late August, they're selling down to and through a support level to meet another support level. We move sideways along that support level for maybe like a week's time or so, at least a few days, and then we break down through more supports. I'm advised to open up protection around a crest on the cusp here of the end of August or early September. I'm sorry guys, there's some music like playing in my ear. Wow, that was annoying. Alright, so we have another month's crest or high here. Another month's crest or high in early September or late September, somewhere in September. There's another month's, another year's prominent high or crest. We attempt to reestablish support in early September, key support, and there's a breakout to the crest or high there, where we attempt to establish support, and then we fall pretty hard from that prominent high for the year through multiple support levels on a 1 year chart. It's a brief high that's easily missed, and we sell down through multiple support levels. It will be in near overbought territory when we sell, and then we rally in early. In early October. We meet a key resistance, and then we fall from that resistance with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. And usually those spikes up will meet resistance at moving averages that are in bearish formation. There's two swing trade opportunities there in early October-ish. One involving a breakout on at least a 1 month scale, and another one involving behavior of bumping along resistance, and that'll be resistance that's key on at least a 1 month scale. Looks like we have another prominent trough or low here in October. So between the prominent high and this next high that's in late October, it's probably the same high as the April high. If it's not the same high, then it's got a higher high, but my sense is that it's the same high. So we have this like prominent low for the year in October, and then that low for the year forms when we have a failed attempt to break through a key resistance on at least a 1 month chart, followed by a decline through key support, at least on a 1 month chart, probably on a 1 year chart. And then the behavior around the high there is a key resistance level, so probably the top resistance there, i.e. where we were in April. There's quite a bit of volatility there, and that's also a price level that's pretty. It's a pretty good price level to position oneself for both directions, using options, using put options and long call options to create like a straddle or stranger there. It's a good mean point around the high there. It's probably the same high, like I said, as April's high. And that's a cash-in opportunity as well, or a cash-out opportunity as well there, when we're attempting to establish support. Quite a bit of volatility in late October, back and forth behavior, a lot of volatility. And the declines in that volatility are opportunities to open up a long position, because we go higher from there. There's a fake out in early November out of resistance. It looks like probably at the same resistance price level that we were experiencing in October. Quite a bit of volatility around the month's high, and probably prominent high for the year in November. We move higher through resistance, stay above it briefly, and then break back down through the same price level around that month's high and prominent high. And then behavior around the low, there's a prominent move higher that'll stand out on a 1 year chart, and it's matched by a full retracement of that move shortly thereafter. It makes like a triangular kind of pattern on a chart, and it'll really stand out. That's the behavior around the low. And then behavior in late November, we have bearish price swings off of that, out of that crest or whatnot, and there's a sharp decline there. But then I'm advised to be cautious. In early December. Something to do with an agreement between two leaders or a merger. There's a big move higher in December, multiple false tops, like right around the cusp there between November and December. There's a big move higher, like a significant. It'll really stand out on a 1 year chart, and that takes us to another year's high. It might be the same year's high as April, or more likely it's a higher high and the highest high. So we go from like this move higher through resistance on the scale of the year. We go through this move higher through resistance, back down, and then we rally along a diagonal trend line, break through that resistance eventually, and move higher, and then pull back to somewhere between those two price levels. And you can see there's also another prominent trough that'll stand out on a 1-year chart also in December. So after we reach that high early on, it looks like we probably fall. There's a sideways S formation in a channel, so a decline from resistance to support, back to resistance, and then back to that same support in a decline kind of trend. And in late December, we have a decline that offers an opportunity to open up a long position. The majority of behavior in 2024 looks like decline that increases with the momentum moving forward in time. But that remains to be fully seen until such time that I do the 2024 or the 10-year. Guys, that's SPCE for 2023. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. My God, it's at 4 something. My God, insanity. I feel like Kramer from Mad Money. Anyhow, guys, don't forget that rule of karma. Super important. If you plan to profit from this information, don't bite yourself in the foot, or don't kick yourself in your own ass. How about that one? Make sure you're following that rule, because that's how you'll profit from this. And when you spend that money out of love, the universe is going to send it back to you tenfold in all directions. Be courageous. Be brave. Don't tell yourself you have to do this even though it doesn't feel right. You don't. That's fear. False expectations appearing real. So do the right thing, and the universe is going to show you doors you didn't know existed. Later, guys.